Hello, Virgo. Uh, you've been in a situation that felt impossible to resolve, and what's about to happen is going to feel almost miraculous. Not because actual miracles exist, but because the solution is going to come from a direction so unexpected that it'll feel like the universe intervened. This isn't about magic, it's about timing and convergence. Multiple factors that had to align are finally aligning. People who needed to connect are connecting. Information that needed to surface is surfacing. Circumstances that needed to shift are shifting. Let me describe what this looks like. You may have been problem solving for months, trying every approach you could think of, hitting walls repeatedly, getting close to solutions only to have them fall through at the last moment. Some people experience this as exhausting. They're doing everything right, but nothing's working. They're putting in effort, but getting no traction. They're trying, but the universe seems to be blocking every path. It might feel like you're cursed, like everyone else gets breaks, but you just get broken promises. Like you're fundamentally unlucky in ways that make success impossible no matter how hard you work. But here's what's actually been happening: pieces have been moving into place that you couldn't see, connections have been forming that you weren't aware of, a solution has been building that didn't involve you directly until now. Let's pause here. This reflection invites you to consider: what problem have you been trying to solve that keeps not solving? Maybe it's financial. You've been struggling to make ends meet, trying to increase income or reduce expenses or find opportunities that would create breathing room, and nothing's worked. Every potential solution has evaporated. You may have started to believe this is just your permanent reality, that financial stress is your baseline, that other people get opportunities but you don't, that you're doing something wrong that keeps you stuck. It's possible you're not doing anything wrong. The timing just hasn't been right. The pieces haven't been in position. The opportunity that fits your specific situation and skill set hasn't emerged yet. Some people give up right before the breakthrough. They've been trying so hard for so long that they decide it's never going to work. And they quit right when the solution was about to arrive. You may have been close to that point, close to giving up, close to accepting that this problem is permanent, close to resigning yourself to limitation. It can feel naive to keep hoping when nothing's worked, like you're being foolish to believe things will change when all evidence suggests they won't. But evidence of what hasn't worked doesn't predict what will work. Past failures don't determine future outcomes. And sometimes the thing that finally works comes from nowhere after everything else failed. This reflection invites you to consider: have you been close to giving up on something that's actually about to resolve? There's something specific about what craziest way means. It's possible the solution comes through a person you never expected, someone you met casually months ago, someone who knows someone, a random connection that becomes the chain that pulls you out. You may not even remember meeting them, or if you do, you didn't think they'd matter. Didn't realize that casual conversation was planting seeds that would grow into opportunity. Some people dismiss encounters that seem insignificant. They're not networking, they're not strategizing, they're just being polite or social. And later they discover that throwaway conversation was actually the beginning of something significant. You may have had that encounter already, planted that seed without knowing. and it's about to bear fruit in ways you couldn't have predicted or planned. Or maybe the crazy part is the timing. You needed three specific things to align, and they were nowhere close to aligning. And then suddenly, all at once, they all shift into place simultaneously. It can feel like luck when things align perfectly, but sometimes it's just readiness meeting opportunity. You've been preparing without knowing you were preparing. And now you're ready exactly when the opportunity arrives. This reflection invites you to consider, what have you been preparing for without realizing you were preparing? Let me talk about what once in a lifetime actually means. It's possible this isn't an opportunity that comes around repeatedly. This is specific to this moment. These circumstances, this convergence of factors that won't exist in the same configuration again. You may be someone who overthinks opportunities, who needs to analyze extensively before deciding, who wants to consider all options before committing to one. Some people miss opportunities because they're still analyzing when the window closes. They want more time when the time they have is all they're getting. You may need to recognize this as time sensitive, not in a scarcity way that makes you panic, just in an honest way that acknowledges this specific configuration won't wait indefinitely. It can feel pressuring when opportunities have expiration dates, like you're being forced to decide before you're ready, like the universe is being unfair by not giving you unlimited time. But unlimited time often means never deciding. Deadlines create necessary pressure, and sometimes that pressure is what moves you from contemplation to action. This reflection invites you to consider, if an opportunity arrives with a deadline, can you decide quickly? There's something about what you need to do when this works out. It's possible your first instinct will be disbelief. This has been stuck for so long that when it finally moves, you won't trust it. You'll wait for it to fall apart. You'll look for the catch. You may have been disappointed so many times that receiving what you've been hoping for feels suspicious, like it can't be real, like surely there's something you're not seeing that will ruin it. Some people are so conditioned to disappointment that they can't receive good news without immediately catastrophizing. They can't let themselves be happy because they're braced for the other shoe to drop. You may need to actively resist that pattern. To let yourself feel relief without immediately looking for problems. To receive this resolution as actual resolution instead of just temporary reprieve. It can feel vulnerable to be happy about something good before you're certain it's permanent, like celebrating too soon invites loss. But holding back joy doesn't protect you from loss. It just prevents you from fully experiencing the good while it's happening. What you might also need to do is act quickly when the opportunity presents itself, not recklessly, but decisively, without the extended contemplation you usually require. Some people need this urgency. They overthink until opportunities expire. They analyze until windows close. They need external pressure to override their tendency to perpetually consider. You may be one of those people, and this opportunity is going to require faster movement than you're comfortable with. It can feel scary to commit to something significant without lengthy consideration, like you're being irresponsible, like you should take more time. But taking more time when time is limited just means missing the opportunity. And you've been waiting too long to let hesitation cost you what you've been hoping for. What you might need to release is the belief that if something's right, it'll be easy. that the right opportunity will feel obvious and comfortable and certain. Some opportunities feel scary even when they're right, feel risky even when they're solid, feel uncertain even when they're the best option available. You may need to move on this even if it doesn't feel perfectly comfortable. Even if you have questions, even if you're not completely certain, it can feel like you should wait for complete certainty before committing, but complete certainty rarely arrives before commitment. Usually, you commit and then become certain through the committing, through discovering that, yes, this was right, through experiencing the outcome instead of just contemplating it. You remain in complete control of whether you seize this opportunity when it arrives. You can say yes or no. You can move quickly or hesitate. You can trust or question. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has brought up hope, maybe skepticism, maybe the desperate wish that, yes, finally something works out after so much hasn't. Whatever it is, honor it. Take what resonates. Softly release the rest. Trust yourself. Before we close, I want to ask you something. What situation in your life most needs to work out right now? Drop it in the comments. And this, if something worked out in a completely unexpected way, would you trust it or question it? Something is about to work out for you in the craziest way, once in a lifetime offer. And the reason it feels crazy is because you couldn't have planned this, couldn't have forced this, couldn't have made this happen through effort alone. Sometimes solutions arrive from directions you weren't watching, through channels you didn't know existed, in ways that feel too convenient to be real, but are actually just timing finally being right. Not eventually, soon. Trust yourself with this. Trust that when the opportunity arrives, you'll recognize it. Trust that you can move quickly without being reckless. Trust that sometimes things work out not because you're lucky, but because you kept showing up until the pieces finally aligned. See you in the next one. And listen, the solution you've been waiting for might arrive in packaging you don't recognize. Stay alert, stay ready. It's coming. Don't miss it by being too skeptical to receive it. Be ready to say yes. Take care.